Well, it's been a very hectic couple of weeks since the last ThinkPodCast. I've been putting up with grief about my new beard, but apart from that, I've been in local schools, discussing tourism, focusing on textiles, also linking in with the Voluntary Community Care Forum in the Borders. Again, a very varied type of activity in my constituency work. I have regular meetings with the Borders Voluntary Community Care Forum, and they do outstanding work supporting the voluntary sector, supporting people who are either vulnerable or need assistance in the borders. And we have a full agenda for the discussion that we had, looking at issues ranging from funding to transport to carers assessments, and I've promised to take up a number of issues on their behalf. One of the aspects of transport was linking in with the Borders Disability Forum as well, and it associated with my discussions with First Bus when I met with them very recently. I've been pushing for a number of months and years now to have the timetables for buses being able to explain when on some services, on some times, there will be a specifically low floor accessible service. I've had casework where there's been people who have had difficulties, and in the worst case where people have been stranded in wheelchairs and they've not been able to access low floor bus services on the main routes into and out of the borders. We're hopeful that there'll be a resolution to this, but there's going to be further discussions that take place. On transport, this week there was the welcome announcement that the Borders Railway project will be seeking bidders for raising the finance and the construction of the railway. I've not been too happy with the way that the government has configured the financing of the railway, but the announcement for the tender was positive. But unfortunately, it was spoilt by the fact that we learned subsequent to that the whole project is delayed by a further year. The Scottish Government had committed to start the construction in its term of office. It won't now be doing that, and the revised timetable now, in broad terms, is indicating that there'll only be a contract signed in the autumn 2011 with the consortium that would be constructing the railway. And that is very disappointing, and it certainly took the gloss off what should have been a positive announcement. Further regrettable news has been the fact that the Borders is now home to the fastest speeder on any road in the country, and the imprisonment of the motorcyclist who was caught doing 166 miles an hour on the A702 in the Dolphinton Strait raises yet again the real concern that there is with regards to the safety of that road. I've been dealing with the local police who are doing their best to ensure that the road is policed properly, but we really do need speed measures on that road, because we can't rely on the police being there every day, all day. There does need to be some action on that road before someone is killed. On a more happier note, my work with schools continues. I had a fantastic visit very recently by Now Park Primary School from Selkirk, 49 pupils from primary 6 and 7 that had come up and visited, and they were fantastic. They were real ambassadors for their school and for the town, and I hope that they learnt a bit about the Parliament and how it operates. And also, I was very pleased and honoured to be asked to give the toast to Border Life at the Borders Manufacturers Corporation dinner. The dinner has been taking place in the Borders since 1776, and it brings together the main manufacturing businesses and organisations in the Borders, and it was a very entertaining evening, but sober nevertheless with regards to the impact that the recession is having on local businesses. And the driving force in the Manufacturers Corporation as a textiles body was also part of the key focus of some of my work this week. I've hosted a reception meeting for MSPs, the unions, and the Scottish Enterprise Textile Industry Group, as well as the industry representatives, raising again the need for government support for the textile sector, and I'll continue to do that and work closely with the industry forum for skills retention, for accessing finance, and making sure that the brand of Made in Scotland is a protected brand. Still a long way to go, but the focus and profile raising for the sector is a very important part of my job. So that again is in a nutshell some of the activity that I've been doing, and yes, people are still commenting about the beard.